Hey guys, what's up? I'm your host Night, and today we'll be learning how to set up your MF3RS2. Let's go. Alright, so the things you'll need for the project are two types of lube that can be of your choice, but I'm gonna use weight 5 and a premium lube called Cubelelo Velocity, a screwdriver, magnets of your preference. I'm going to use N45 4x1.5, and finally the cube itself. So the first step is that you need to disassemble your cube. For the disassembly of your cube, all you need to do is just open the center cap and loosen up the screws so that the whole side comes up. Repeat that for all 6 sides. Right, so once you have your cube disassembled, it should look something like this, and you can keep the core in a bowl or whatever you feel like, and let's move on to the next step. Alright, so for the edge disassembly, it's really simple. All you need to do is pressurize on these sides. The corner disassembly is really easy again. All you need to do is just pull these corners from away from each other. So there comes your first corner, second and third. So as you can see, there are three corners. Over here which are around these stalks, and if you don't want to lose your stalks, you can again keep them in this bowl over here, and repeat that step for all edges and corners, and I'll just back to you. Alright, so once you have your cube disassembled with all its pieces as well being disassembled, it should look something like this. So now I just placed a piece of paper over here, and that is to keep the polarity consistent, and I'll be starting to take magnets on from this side. So because the corners, like the space between I'll just try to get it closer, yeah. So the space between this and this is actually really less. So instead of taking risk, I'll magnetize the corner first and then use the corner as a helper piece to magnetize the edge. So your first step you need to do is take out a magnet like that, and then you need to do is you need to place it over in this corner. Alright, so once you have magnetized the corner piece, it should look something like this. The magnet is actually glued in, so you can barely see the magnet over there, but actually the placement of magnet will be right there. So now you need to keep up the edge and corner like this, and you need to put the magnet over here a little up of this, where you can see something like it's coming out. You need to place it little up over here. So once glued, your corner and edge piece magnet should look somewhat like this. Alright, so once you have your pieces magnetized, they should look something like this. Alright, so next step, you need to reassemble back the splitted pieces into edges and corners respectively. So the next step that I'm gonna tell you is actually optional, but this is called the polarity check step. So what happens in this is that you need to reassemble a cube without a core. So because of this, you will get to know that are magnets repelling each other. So if magnets are repelling each other, it means that the cube will not be in a cube-like shape because the magnets repel each other. But if everything is fine and the cube is in a cube shape, it means the magnets are attracting each other, and you can say the polarity is consistent. Alright, so once you have your polarity consistent and you have checked it, it's time to reassemble the cube, but you also need to keep in mind that you need to lube the core. So what you need to do is you need to use a thick lube, like for example weight 5 or weight 6, and later on what you need to do after that is you need to lube over here, that is the springs. Make sure you don't lube the threads of the screw that are these small lines, because if you lube that, there are chances that the screw might unwind itself. So you need to lube the screw and the spring. You need only lube the spring and if possible the head of the screw, that is this part. And taking a look at the center, you need to lube this, let me try to get it clear. Alright, so you need to lube this area which has this washer. So you need to lube like a circle over there, and you just need to repeat that for all 6 sides. Alright, so next step is to insert this spring, insert the center piece into the core. So how do you do that? It's pretty much like any other speed cube, that you just need to insert, you first need to fix it in, then you need to tension it accordingly. So let me show you what are my preferred tensions for it. Alright, so I like to tie it up till basically a point where the threads of the screw are no longer visible. So as you can see, the threads that I just told are not visible. So just repeat that for all 6 sides, as that will even out the tensions, and then you can just choose a number of wrist turns to get the cube to your preference. Repeat it for all 6 sides and I'll be back to you. Alright, so as you can see, I have the whole core assembled now at even tensions, so nowhere the threads of the screw are visible. So the next step is you need to grab your pieces and assemble them. So I'll show you the assembling method that I use. Alright, so what I do is I first assemble, like I try forming a 2 by 2 block. So like I insert white thread, then I insert white blue, like that. And now what I do is I take one of the corners of the corresponding one, like in this case I have the white, blue and red. So there you go, one block gets created. And lastly you need to take the corresponding F12 edge. So for this case I'm gonna use blue and red. So there you go, you have it. So you have like your block created, and now you need to do that on the green side as well. Now you need to insert the white orange edge. So you take the white orange edge. Inserting is not a problem in MF3RS2, so that is really easy. Just go ahead and slide in the pieces. So then you need to insert this, and you need to take the corresponding edge here. It is the green orange, so insert it. So now you have this created. Now what you need to do is, my lubing method is I kind of lube on the tracks of the pieces. So like in this case, alright, so in this case I would like to lube little on these tracks of the edges, so that because usually I like to lube it with lighter lubes, not heavier lubes. So in this case I'll be using the Lubes-Cubelelo velocity lube. So here I have it, so I'm gonna lube it. Alright, so now you need to insert the final white, orange, blue corner over here. And now before inserting the final edge piece, what I like to do is I like to lube the bottom side. Like for example, you need to lube you need to insert it like this. So I like to lube this side with a lighter lube. Alright, so as you can see, I have completely lubricated this edge. If you want, you can even over lube the edge, but that will, you'll have to break in afterwards. So it's up to you really, it's your preference. In this case I did over lube the edge because I really have plenty of time to break in the cube. So now you basically just need to go ahead and assemble your last layer, but there's still one more place that I'll show you that you need to lubricate. I'll be back to you when I have that place to be shown. Alright, so when you have your cube completely assembled, just make sure that you don't insert your final edge. And now what I like to do is I like to lube this corner track and little of the corner base, and I do the same for even this corner track and this corner base. Now but here it's up to you really. Again, if you need to over lube it, go ahead over lube it, but if you just want to add in a quite a less amount of lube, you can do that as well. It's really up to your preference. Alright, I forgot to mention something. When you're lubing the corner tracks, after you finish it, you also need to lube the edge. You have to over lube it. So you need to over lube the edge and just insert it in. So I'll do that and I'll be back to you. Alright, so I've lubricated the cube and my hands are kind of lubey right now, so is the cube. I tried wiping it, but the lube remains out sometime. It goes away automatically after a little more of wiping. So let's go into first turns. Alright, so the magnets are as I expected it to be. It was the magnets are really weak, and this is because the MF3RS2 is already so stable. Using the stronger magnets would not be a good choice. So as you can see now, the cube is even more flowing with ease. So of course the tensions are kind of loose right now, so the cube is kind of catching, but I'll fix the tensions later on. Alright, so now I have my tensions set up to what I would prefer them to be, and the cube is also wiped, and so are my hands. So I'm really excited to test it out again. So let's do first turns after everything is ready. Alright, so it's really performing very nice, but of course MF3RS2 does retain its blocky nature. But anyhow, the cube is flowing with super ease, and I'm having a lot of fun doing all the algorithms. It's really fluid right now, because out of the box it was not as fluid as I had expected it to be, but now it is exactly how I wanted. Even the magnets are not so noticeable because I've used a weaker strength, as I already said. So basically, yeah, the cube is really nice right now, and I'm really enjoying solving in it, and I hope I'll enjoy it even further when I do it. I mean, when I solve even more on this cube. So that's about it on the tutorial on how to magnetize, setup, lubricate, tension your 3x3. I hope you'll enjoyed it. Please drop the like button, as it really motivates me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, as even that does motivate me. And please share this video with your friends whom you think this can be helpful to them. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.